Today on Divorce Court, he fell in love with a stripper and asked her to marry him. But now he wants her to find a whole new line of work. She claims he should be less concerned about her private dancing clients and more focused on his baby mama drama. I'm not sure how this one will twerk out.
Divorce Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Lynn Toller presiding.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here today with Brandy Patterson and Letrey Willis. The two of you have been together for 4 years, engaged for a year and a half. You're not quite sure whether or not you should walk down the aisle, so you've come to me on or before your vows. Ms. Patterson, I'm going to start with you. Why don't you tell me a little bit about your relationship and why you're concerned as to whether or not Mr. Willis is the man you should marry?
Our major issue is I'm a stripper. He feels like every man that I talk to at work, I'm trying to get with, or if I'm at work, he thinking I'm doing something other than trying to be
Make
at
your
work.
Money.
Right, and it's not that. It's to the point where I just want him to understand that I'm working. I'm working as a woman and trying to provide for myself as well as him because he cannot work right now. I can't go back to a fast food restaurant that's making $7.25 an hour. And I'm making $800,000–900,000 a day.
Wow.
I can't do that. So I just want us to build that foundation of trust and communication.
I gotcha. Mr. Willis, do you not like her job? I mean, I imagine most guys wouldn't, but do you have honest concerns that she's doing something wrong, or you simply don't like the fact that she is a stripper?
It's not the fact that she's a stripper, it's just the trust issues that come behind it. I mean, once somebody's comfortable, then it's a whole different story, but you have to be made comfortable. So
what has she done that caused you to be uncomfortable?
I mean, taking the job outside of the job, for one.
Well, tell me about that. Tell me about that.
You have multiple men
right.
texting, calling, you know what I'm saying, on our time. And instead of her putting her foot down saying, you know what I'm saying, I do have an outside life, it's just like you proving them more than you proving your other half.
Now, are you entertaining calls from dudes off your job?
Your Honor, that's only because when people call my phone, they're calling me for business only, for work. When I say work, I mean physically, as in, if they call my phone and they say, hey, can you do a party for me tonight? Yeah, I can. Or sometimes he might want me at home with him at the moment. We don't have any foundation, so I'm gonna go try and make something before we end up back in the same predicament that we was in.
When you keep saying we don't have a foundation, what you mean?
Like we don't have like
we're not stable right now.
Like we're not stable. We're not stable. We got housing situations dealing with. He can't work right now and everything else. So
communication.
And tell me what's wrong with your communication. Tell me what's wrong with your communication.
Saying what she just said, like saying if you communicate right. Saying, okay, you do have a party or this to go to. Communicate with me. Don't just go out like you're sneaky.
I try to.
So we had an incident where on a regular day, she can call me, talk to me if we're not together, like it's nothing. But on the day she has to go to work, you can tell when she got to go to work. Because I don't get no calls. If she tell me she gonna call me back before she leave to go to work, I don't hear from her till the next morning until she get off work.
Do you sometimes bristle? And I'm not saying I'm blaming you, because it would be hard for me to do if my husband was an escort and some woman calls, hey, babe, I'm gonna go over here and make this money with this chick. I think I'd feel some sort of way about that myself. But is she right that she does try to come at you businesslike? And it's just the idea of what she's getting ready to do just gets under your skin?
I mean, it plays a part in between, I guess, because, I mean, I try to support her. Even though I always had a problem with, like, saying if I dated a dancer, but I see her as my precious jewel.
Right. I got what you're saying, but I see where we're all running into a problem. I want to know how the arguments go.
They don't.
I want to know how the arguments go, because it seems to be one huge issue about which you argue all the time and never get anywhere other than where you already were. So we're going to figure that out. Neither one of you listen. Neither one of you. You come here, we bring you here, we go through all this folderol so you can talk to me in order to maybe get a handle on this situation. You can't let me finish a sentence. Do you have any trust issues with respect to him?
I don't have a trust issue with respect to him. It's a thing where one day trust issues come into play. One day he called me and asked me to come to the park. He told me to come to the park, and when I got there, it was another female there with her child. So me as a woman, yes, I did get defensive. I got very defensive, and I got very upset and physically. So it was to the point where I asked him, I was like, who is she? And he was like, oh, it's just a friend. And she can't, like, I'm yelling at her, I'm cursing her out. Yes, I am, I was wrong. And it came to a point where she was like, I just had got here. Like, we literally had got to fighting. I'm cursing her out. I'm cursing him out.
I mean, this is a hot ghetto mess.
Yeah, it was like a hot ghetto mess at the park, at Olympic Park. Like, I was like, okay, look, let me ask this girl, what you and my man got going on? And she was like, nothing.
She was not there for me.
She was like, nothing. I just had got here. And I was like, I'm sorry. Like, it came to a point where I had to apologize. I was like, you just gotta realize, from my woman point of view, of seeing my man at the park with another female.
You know, I don't know what I look like to you. Hang on, I'm a woman too.
Yes.
And I ain't never beat nobody up in a park. And if I saw my man with a situation I didn't understand,
I came in here wrong.
No, hey, you saying as a woman, of course no, not as a woman, of course you. As a woman, you don't need to be hysterical. Ask women to get that reputation. Well, as a woman, I had to. No, women don't have to do anything of the sort. You can be intelligent, you can be rational. If it's the wrong thing, you can walk off. You know what I mean? It's not as a woman, because I'm a woman, I got to lose my mind in his direction, because he might be cheating on me.
And I try to help her.
That's not womanly behavior.
I try to help her, like saying, you beautiful, like I want you. So, well, what she just said leads to another situation like with baby mamas on trust issues.
Well, tell me some issues she's had with your baby's mothers.
I got an issue where I was at work one day, and I had one of my friends hit me on the phone and was like, bro, what's going on? And I'm like, what you talking about? He was like, you ain't been on Facebook. I'm like, I'm at work. He was like, man, your baby mama and your girl going at it. And I'm like, huh? So I go on there and I look at it. The whole situation just got blown out of proportion. But I feel like it shouldn't have got that way.
Well, what were they talking about?
Him.
My kid, because my baby mama don't want my kid around her.
She doesn't want her child around you. You thought the way to resolve that information was prove you ignorant.
Yeah, she came at her wrong.
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. She came at me.
And I tell her, don't entertain her.
I didn't entertain her. I literally spoke to this woman as a woman. And when she started getting to the point where she's calling me all types of names, it got to a point where I'm like, okay, enough is enough. This girl has been disrespecting me from day one since I met this girl. It's not like it's just now starting to happen. So when that situation happened, yes, okay, we did exchange some words, but it wasn't to the point where I'm sitting here talking about your child or something like that, because your kids are my kids.
First of all, that's not true. And if you're coming at her like that, I can see why she's upset. Every time he gets a new girlfriend, that's her kid, you know. I mean, that's a little stepping over the bounds.
I mean, he tells me that, though.
Neither one of you listen. Hey! Neither one of you listen. Neither one of you. You come here, we bring you here, we go through all this folderol so you can talk to me. In order to maybe get a handle on this situation, you can't let me finish a sentence before you jumping in the middle to defend something you know's not working. You're arguing every day, you're breaking up every other day. It's a hot ghetto mess from beginning to end, and you're trying to convince me, talk over me, to convince me that you got a point. You with me on that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's my fancy way of saying shut up. Shut up and listen, because we're not going to get anywhere until you do. Were men touching her?
Yes.
It was probably...
Men were touching her.
One man probably smacked my booty. That was it.
No, it was more than...
Was it a one-off?
No.
What would you do if your partner wanted you to find a new career? Tell us what you think at Divorce Court. At the base of it, Mr. Willis, do you think you could ever be comfortable being with Ms. Patterson while she's a stripper?
Yes, I'm gonna say yes, I can.
Under what circumstances do you see that happening? You're in here telling me it's the way she handles what she's doing that makes you jealous. I don't believe that. But I don't think you're lying. I think you believe that. But I want you to tell me under what circumstances or what kind of behavior could she display that would allow you to be comfortable with her profession?
I mean, first I'm gonna start off by saying, it started out with communication. If she can communicate about it right, then...
What is right? See, here's what, I think you're asking for something, but you don't know what you're asking for. You want to feel better about how she's doing, what she's doing, and you want her to say something that's gonna make you feel better, but you don't know what that is, so you can't tell her what it is she needs to do. You with me? If I need something I can articulate it. I don't want you to, I would like you to, this is how we ought to. Can you give me any of those things?
Yes, I've said that plenty of times. I would like for you to just, you know what I'm saying, check in. If I call, answer, let me know you're okay. Because if you're doing a private party and you was sneaky about it and I don't know where you at, but just say something happened. And I get a call saying, well, I don't know where to go because we didn't communicate. You get what I'm saying?
So the request is, if you're doing a private party, please let me know where it is.
Exactly.
Okay.
You don't take security.
Yeah.
It's just you.
Okay.
But this is not like you're at your regular job.
Do you think that's an unreasonable request?
No, it's not, because at the point, what he's talking about is, I take him with me to the strip club. I take him to parties. He sit outside while I'm doing parties. So I'm a little
Is that true?
confused.
It's been one.
It's not just
private
one.
party, but it's been maybe 3 inside the club.
Take you.
Yeah, but generally you don't take him. Is that true? Generally you don't take him?
Sometimes I don't, and sometimes I ask him, do you want to go? Are you sure you don't want to go? No, I don't want to go. I don't want to see that. And then when I do take him, it's the same thing. Why are you doing this? Why that man looking at you? And I'm just like, I'm at work.
That's not true. That's not true.
I think you're both telling the truth.
When it's partially true, but when
truth.
She had told me to come, I went. So the whole issue was I was getting there where I could get comfortable with it. She told me I don't let dudes touch me. I don't let dudes do this. So the time I went, I'm looking at it. I'm like, so I get mad. I'm like, I thought you said you didn't do that. She was like, man, I'm at work. So now you telling me that's what you do at work. So now I'm like, okay, you got me
what was
bounced.
happening at work? Were men touching her?
Yes.
It was probably...
Men were touching her.
One man probably smacked my booty. That was it.
No, it was more than that.
Was it a one-off?
No, it was more than that.
But I understand in the strip club there's a rule you're not supposed to touch a stripper, so maybe the guys weren't obeying the rules.
Maybe a couple of them wasn't, but at the same time, she could control that.
Okay, and I told them
And she did not do nothing when I seen it. I was looking dead at her, and my whole thing was I wasn't gonna get mad because I was drinking a little bit. I said I'm just gonna drink and just leave it alone. But then it just kept urging me no, say something about it. And I'm like, I thought you said wasn't nobody gonna touch you.
Oh, I see what's happening here, and I don't have the 2 days to fix it. I think you're decent people. I think you love each other. I think both of you are telling me the truth. I think that you can't get off of dead stop stupid because you don't understand what you're asking for, and even if you did understand what you're asking for, you don't know how to ask for it, and you don't know what you're really afraid of, and you're really not willing to step off your position long enough to figure out both of you are wrong a little. And until you accept the little piece of your wrong and your piece of your wrong, it's never gonna work out right. So what I'm gonna ask you to do is to accept some wrong, and then maybe we can find how to get this right. What would you do if your partner refused to quit their job as a stripper? Share your opinion on Twitter and Instagram @Divorce Court. Divorce Court will be right back. In one simple declarative sentence, Mr. Willis, tell me what you're doing wrong in this situation.
Maybe overcrowding a little bit. Due to the fact of how much I really care about her.
Yeah. That was beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. You may overcrowd her a little bit because you love her so much, and you're afraid. You're afraid that some other dude is gonna snatch her attention. A dude with more money at the club. Or someone might hurt her at a private party, and you're scared. You got a lot of reasons to be afraid. Do you understand that he's afraid?
Yes, I do.
He's not a jerk. He's jealous, but it's a function of care, and care all switched around with fear. Now, what wrong can you accept?
My wrongs is accusing. I can accuse a lot.
Accuse of what?
About anything. Sometimes I accuse of cheating.
Right.
Sometimes I'm wrong, sometimes I'm not wrong. It comes down to a point where I try to talk to him about any and everything. Now it's just like we can't talk about nothing no more. It's like we argue every day.
What question did I just ask you?
You asked me what could I accept my wrongs for.
And are you talking about that now?
No.
See? You can't stay on topic. You don't know what you can't stay with what you've done wrong without trying to explain why it's like that. You can't just say, like he did, I'm overprotective because, I'm scared. There are things you could do within the context of how you work your job that will make him more comfortable. There are. You can refuse some things. You can say, I'm not feeling this, I'm not feeling that. You can bring them along more. You can be extra uber careful about, hey, I'm going to such and such and such and such, and you make a time. I'm gonna call you between 8 and 9 while I'm there, just to give you a thumbs up. Pop, pop, thumbs up. And as she begins to do that, you behave in a less controlling and jealous fashion. And if she, thank her for saying, hey, baby, thanks for the thumbs up at 9 o'clock. I appreciate that. If I were you, I'd get on my grind and make it so she ain't got to go back to the pole. But that's just me. I think you're a good dude. I think you're a good woman. Stop defending your position and figure out how you can give the other person a little bit of what they need. And from there, you might have a shot at a relationship that's something other than an ongoing argument. I wish you both the best of luck. This matter is adjourned.
So it's obvious your profession plays a problem here in this relationship. Would you consider giving up the job?
I would. I would, just for me and my man, my fiance.
So she told me she may give up this career for you. Do you believe her?
Yes, I believe her. She's mentioned it before.
Willing to stick around and see if she'll make a change?
Yeah, I'm willing to stick around.
Yeah?
That's my heart.
Okay.